There we go. As promised, guys, 7 p.m. sharp. We're live. We'll let a few people jump on here. Hopefully, we'll get a crowd on here tonight. Jessica's with us. She got off work on time, thank goodness. There's 6 people on here. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Y'all let us know how we sound because we're new at this microphone stuff and these headphones and these recorders.
We've had a lot of trial and error with this.
Yes, we have. We have. I think the little intro last night went well. So it was it went pretty good as far as recording.
It helps us a lot. I don't know. We can hear each other better. Like when somebody stops and starts talking. And
right. Yeah. And, that's right. I can hear every word you enunciate. Just or whatever big word I want to use there. But that's what we like. Holden Higgs said we sound good. I appreciate it. Bill Lawley Jr., Greg Hammett, good. Thank you, Greg. Philip Dodson said it's hello. It sounds good. All right. Everybody's telling us to sound good, so that's what we want. Because I'll have to back away from this mic, guys, because I breathe like Jason Voorhees. I'm a deep breather, so I have to back up and I get excited and get loud and Jess Pratt.
I'll tell your CPAP story one day.
Oh Lord, man. No, that's CPAP.
You don't know that?
That's I could say.
I went to, this ain't for me, buddy. I'm gone.
I had a sleep study done, and they hooked me up and put the thing on my finger, and I laid down and I crashed out. And the lady said, "Mr. Jones, you got to get up. The thing fell off your finger." I was like, "I just got to sleep," and then I didn't sleep the whole night. So I went back to get fitted for the mask, and I sat down. I was filling out some paperwork, and the dude strapped this thing in my face. I said, "Man, don't even sign that." He said, "What is it?" I said, "Don't even fill that out, buddy. I'm going now." I said, "Don't even." He says, "I understand." I said, "Don't even sign that paper. I'm not even gonna waste your time or mine because it feels like somebody's choking me." And but those things work for a lot of people. Old Scott Seals is on here. James Trott, appreciate you tuning in. We got 36 folks on.
James Trott just got him a new graph. He got
seen
the
this. Yeah, let's talk about it.
8616.
I seen the post, James, to correct me if I'm wrong, but one of his buddies passed away or something, and he was kind of down and out about it, and he came home, and there was a box sitting on the table, and he said, "What is that?" She said, "Oh, it's just something I ordered," and she said, "You need to check it out." He said he turned that thing over and it said 8616. He was like, "What?" I mean, he lit up. I was like, "Man, that's awesome."
Didn't Kevin?
Yeah, Kevin Hicks had some behind the scenes work to make that happen with James'
That's awesome,
wife.
James. Congratulations, James. That's cool, man.
Hey, if you ever want to buy 8616, have it shipped
Yeah,
to
Jess, Jess, you can call me. I'll be like, "Hey, Jess, go ahead and get one."
Yeah. Jess, while you buy it, get me one too.
Old Trey Wade's here. Old fellow, we sponsor Trey Wade and the ABT. Somebody had a question already. Bill Clark Jr. Can 2 live scope transducers be connected to one unit and have a shortcut button for each transducer? John, we were talking about this last night. Absolutely. They can.
So just use the 1222 for an example. You can plug 2 different live scopes in there and have different settings there. If you to use whichever one you want to use. Click, like if you want to have a 32 and a 34, click back in between the two. But my advice to you is, if you're doing that, is disable the one that you're not using, so you're not getting sonar interference. Unless you're running your, you'd have, I wouldn't say you have to, but you'd need to run your noise reject on high to filter out that other transducer's sonar. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, because I've got 2 on the shaft of our trolling motor. We've still got a 32 and a 34, but you'll get a lot of flash in there if you're running both of them at the same time. When I say flash, it's the flash on the screen from that other sonar interfering. And the same thing can happen if you've got a transducer in the bottom of your trolling motor head. A lot of times if you don't disable it or unhook it, you'll get a flash from that sonar, or you get close to somebody, another boat.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
you get flash from their sonar.
So you're saying the same way I push the power button and disable it like when I'm running to keep it from running hot. That's how you just kill the transducer.
Right.
Same way, right? Okay.
And that doesn't necessarily always make it not run hot. Like just because you disable your transducer for a little while, if it's beaming like that sun's hitting directly on it,
Right.
and that transducer gets overheated, it is still when you turn it back on, it'll still be overheated.
That's cool.
I was a little. I tell y'all a trick I did the other day. We were down there at this tournament, and there was a man came up to me, wanted me to help him with his electronics, and his had gotten overheated, and he was docked there and didn't want to pull out, and we were talking to other people and stuff. I said I can't really work on it because your transducer's overheated. I said, tell you what, dude, give me a bottle of ice water, bottle of water that's been in ice and hand it to me, and I started slowly pouring it over his transducer, and it cooled his transducer down. Then we were able to set it up.
That's cool. That's a good thing. But this time of year, what John's talking about, guys, when you pull that transducer out of the water, if you leave it up and you're making a long run, that thing will get hot if you don't kill it. So when you hit the power button, it lets you scroll down or turn the knob on the manual like John and I have, or me and Jessica has. John don't have that, but you turn it down to disable it. Yeah, he's fancy over there. But, I mean, disable, then you got to remember to enable it when you stop. And it's a good habit to get into because it saves that transducer from getting hot. Let's see, we got Rich's Bates. Howdy from Louisiana. Appreciate you being on here, Rich. Country Cousin Greg. He said, what is he saying here, bud? With the fall bite coming in a month or so, what's your go-to fall baits and why?
Man, the good thing about fall, they start chomping good again. So it's not always necessarily... you can do a lot of stuff. You can use a lot of stuff. Whatever you're confident in is the biggest thing. That's what I'd say. And, a lot of times people don't realize that it's not always the color of the bait. It's what you're confident in and the way you fish it. I see myself like I'll try something new, and I don't think I'm giving it the best shot. So during the fall when they start eating really good again, like this time of year. The bite's tough. The fish are pushed up together, but the bite's tough.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I guess you can get away with a little bit bigger bait too, right, John? In the fall like that.
Yeah.
I mean, some
get
people
away,
do.
get away with as much as you can get away with, and then go down. It's you want them to see it. Obviously, they're gonna see something that's bigger, and if they'll eat it, I mean, shoot, I've been during the summer. I was fishing with Patrick Stone one time, and we caught a big white crappie, and we pulled a 5.5-inch shad out of its throat.
Oh yeah. Oh,
we got a picture. I'll send it. We'll try to put it on the next show. Yeah, Patrick, he had to finesse that big shad out of its throat with some needle nose, but he's got a picture of it. Yeah.
Back in December when I got on this fish in the main river, I was throwing a 1/4-ounce bait and a 1/4-ounce head, a Grenada tackle head, and a 3-inch bait. And those fish were swallowing it. I mean, but these were good-sized fish, and they're being aggressive. So I guess, like John's saying, the attitude of the fish and how the fish are acting, it will dictate what you're going to do as far as baits. But I like throwing an 1.5-inch, 2-inch bait all the time anyway. So
I typically throw the same stuff year round. But he was asking, what color I guess would be more adapted to what his question. I mean, I try to transition from summer to fall in the same way and throw the same things. And if it keeps working, just keep doing it. Monkey milk. Jessica just wrote monkey milk down on the paper, and I mean that's our.
Yeah,
dude,
I mean that's the color.
There's a reason that monkey milk is the most popular bait there is because it works all over the country.
It's a shad color, and if you're real accurate with your cast, like John and Jessica both are, I mean, you throw a Big Mac in front of me, I'm not looking at color if I'm hungry. I'm gonna tear that thing up. You know what I'm saying? So that's just. But if I know it resembles a Big Mac, hey, it's the shape of it. Even if my eyes are half closed, I can see that silhouette. Same way with the fish,
Yeah, my buddy just left here. He was here. Scott, you met Scott before.
Yeah.
Down at Seminole, and he started tying jigs, and he's like, man, I don't like this one. I did a little of this wrong. I said, buddy. I said, that fish is not coming up there and inspecting. So, I had one little wrap. You can see, where I was, trying to whip finish. I said, the fish isn't coming up there and inspecting it like that, bud. I said, they look good. I said, they look good. I said, the biggest thing is just they stay together. You know, if you can catch 100 fish on a hair jig, that knows you tied it correctly.
Oh yeah, that's some of those jigs I see Josh Jones and Hayden even using. After they're so ratty by the time they catch so many fish on it. I mean, they're not attractive to the eye. And they're catching a lot of fish. What is Trey Wade asking me?
Yeah,
He's done got technical.
that's a good
Yeah,
one.
Trey Wade wants to know, guys, do they make a network cable that I can link 2 hummingbirds at the dash and 1 hummingbird up front? I don't want to use a network hub. Do they make a splitter or anything like that, John? What do they
No,
make?
so Trey, here's kind of the rule of thumb when you're doing that. If you're just connecting two, you can run a cable to cable with a dongle on each end. But when you add that third one in there, you got to get that network hub slash switch, whatever you want to call it. And that's when you've got to add that into your system.
I got you. So I don't know if there's a way around it, Trey, as far as the hub. It sounds like it. There's not, but them bass guys run so many graphs, but some of them are getting to where they run less graphs because they're buying bigger screens, 8616 where they can split it, and some of them are changing up. Some of them are switching to Garmin. It's evolving. Bass guys, they're coming behind crappie guys, believe it or not. They're just now talking about stuff that crappie guys have been doing for 2 years. I talked to a buddy of mine's professional bass fisherman last night, and we were just talking about different stuff. And these Japanese guys that's come on real strong and been winning, they're doing stuff that crappie guys have been doing for 2 years. So let's see. Go ahead, John.
Bill, those rods are out there.
There you
They
go.
were supposed to be. Yeah, they were supposed to be out the 22nd. I haven't verified that, but if you are interested in one, give me a shout and I'll get you in contact with the man that will hook you up. And I like them.
That's an 8'2" you was using the other day, John, isn't it?
That's it. That's a fine rod. It dang sure is.
Let's see. Oh, Brandon Lutz, what's he asking? Do y'all use tungsten weights when pegging a weight above a jig when single pole fishing? Are they worth the extra cost? I mean,
we do. We've got the 6 cents the stoppers, and we use the tungsten weights.
they're top of the line, no doubt.
Right. It seems like those 6 cents, I
Bobber
guess they're
stops,
called
what
stop.
you're saying,
Yeah, bobber stops.
Yeah.
Something about them, they grip the line better than those cheap. I mean, the cheaper ones that you buy, in my
I
opinion.
seen Lamar talking about the same thing like yesterday. He said, "Hey, the 6 cents are better. The cheap ones on Amazon are cheaper." So
what we'll do is when we rig that, we'll put one on the top side, then we'll have our weight, and then we'll put 2 on the bottom side, because you're gonna have more downward force than you are upward force, obviously. But they're still gonna move a little bit. I mean, you go to whooping on big fish and jerking them up in the air and going through timber and stuff. You're gonna, they're gonna move. But out of all the ones that we've used, I feel like those 6 cents ones, the ones I got in that little tan bag, and they send you a little snazzy bag with them too.
yeah, 6 cents makes some nice product. Their packaging is awesome. But I was wondering, John, a buddy of mine's a real big bass fisherman, and he throws an A-rig. And what he does, and I thought about this, I may have had a conversation with Eric about this, is he puts a clear straw below his bobber stopper between it and the hook to keep the hook from, when you miss a fish with that single pole, it comes out of the water, it starts wrapping around everything. I mean, so I done it Sunday. So he puts a clear straw there to keep the line straight, to keep it from flying up. And he does it on the A-rig, so when he throws it out, it keeps that hook from hooking one of the arms of the A-rig. But I was wondering, with a long pole, if you could put a strand of he buys matter of fact, what they were WD-40 straws. And
Yeah.
but you can get them clear. And
I tell you what, if your kid drinks those Capri Suns, that'd be a good place to start. I mean,
well, I'm thinking it may
might
not
be
be
too
anything,
big.
but I know the other day I missed a fish and I set the hook, guys, and I had a 32nd below a 3/8 tungsten weight, and that thing wrapped around the end of my pole, and I was like, man, I got a mess,
Well, the thing that I think prevents us from having that happen, we use that heavier fluorocarbon,
Right.
and it prevents a lot of wraps. Now, I know when we were trying to use the heavier braid on the long poles, we had some issues. but using that heavier fluorocarbon, it
Hmm.
seems to be less. And then if it does get wrapped, especially at the tip, just fling it out the
Well,
side
what
and
I
just
should have,
shake
yeah,
it.
what I should have done is just keep following the line, and I tried to stop, and when that did it, it was bad. I looked down, and I said, "Well, I messed that rod up." And luckily, I used it was 15-pound fluorocarbon, but I don't know.
Okay.
I thought about the straw deal. It's nothing I have tried, but because I don't do a lot of long poling. But Brandon, I do use tungsten because you get away with smaller weights. You don't have that big gobbin. You use a half ounce or 3/8 lead weight. That thing's pretty fat. It's big. So.
And I'll tell you another, like, I don't know if other people have tried this or not, but sometimes those weights get fatter as they get heavier. So
Hmm.
sometimes I'll take like 2/4 and put them over each other rather than
Keep
use
it
a
slimmer.
fatter weight,
Yeah,
and it feels like it swings through the water smoother maybe.
that's a good idea. Yeah, there's
And
not
so
much resistance.
I'll double stack 2/4.
I know. When I first started that, I was using a split shot, and boy, that's going to get tangled up then. That thing,
Yes, that's the
it's
worst.
awful.
Yes.
There's a lot of people. I've had to use a split shot with a little 30-second casting, but to make sure I don't miss any questions. Somebody's asking you, Clifford Dean. He is tuned in from YouTube. Everybody's talking about braid. It will wrap around the end of your rod, Lord.
Yeah.
John showed me a trick though, guys. I wish I could show you, and I've used it a bunch and shown it a bunch. With that braid, guys, that casting braid, when that thing when you go to shoot it, it makes a loop around the end tip of your rod. You can, and it's what it is. It is wrapped around your end of your tip of your rod, just like that right there. And what he does, he takes a hook and grabs that loop and pulls on it and gets some slack, and he'll slide it off the end of the rod. Most
Yeah.
and 99% of the time, back before John showed me that when we went fishing together, down there in where were we at? Down there at that lake. Where's that?
Secret.
Anyway, yeah,
Ooh,
the
it's
secret
secret.
spot. I can't even remember where it is. Heck, John blindfolded me. So anyway, that trick, guys, I'm telling you, I wish I could show it to y'all, but when you shoot a jig in that braid, like I said, it wraps around the end of your rod just like that. You can take that hook and grab that loop and pull it with that hook, and then slide it right off the end of your rod. That's a great tip using braid. I promise you it is. I'm glad it kind of brought up because we haven't discussed that before, but John showed me that several months back. Let's see.
I'm ready for it to get cold and go back over there.
Me too, man. I'm ready. I'm so ready to walk out in a toboggan and a hoodie, man, and snot run out of my nose. I know that's
Blow
kind
a
of
little,
gross, but
yeah, blow a little
yeah.
smoke.
But like, oh man, And the first cold snap will freeze my butt off. I mean, I do it every year. Let's see what everybody's answering each other's questions. I appreciate you doing it, Chad and Holden, and going back and forth. Hey, do it to it, guys. Let's see. James Trott. He's gonna have a bunch of questions since he got this new toy from his wife here. Hey,
Yeah.
he is. Are the settings on this 8616 going to be the same or similar to the settings I got from y'all?
I
Yeah.
I pretty much when I went from 1222 to my 8000 series, uh, I stayed the same. The only thing I did do that I feel like I could get away with more with is I bumped my noise reject down to medium from
Right.
high
They're more
because
sensitive.
I felt like I was getting just a little bit slight delay, and it might not necessarily be because I went to that, but in the same time frame we went to the LVS 34 transducer, and I feel like when you got your noise reject higher with it, you like it just almost felt like there was a little split second delay from what I was seeing to what I was feeling, and when I moved it to medium, it felt like it leveled it out. It was more. I was more in tune.
Yeah, they're James. That 8616 is high. It's got high resolution on it. And hey, John, go on and tell him how much bigger those little fish are going to look on that thing. Because
Oh,
I know
dude.
people.
Yeah, you gonna
James,
run down some shorts.
get ready,
Yeah,
James, because you're going to have to adapt. Everybody I know that switched to a 16 or 17-inch screen of like, man, I really had to get used to adjusting what size fish.
get that
When I
get
went from a
that
10 to a 12, I had to do it. So
yeah get that bottom set on about 20 and just roll with it for a while. Don't adjust your bottom depth. Just leave it on 20, no matter what
yeah,
depth you're in. Just
that's right.
go, until you start learning. So, you know, because you gotta think gaining so much more screen with that.
Oh Lord,
That
that's
what you were seeing before and your eye was adjusted to as a 10-inch fish. Now you're gonna be busting some sixes and some sevens.
yeah. You're really a hickory shad is gonna look like a giant on there, James. You're gonna be like, man. But hey, that's a great problem to have. Congratulations on that. That to me, that's the goal for me to have one. I want an 8600 series. Haven't bought one yet, but hey, maybe Garmin will catch on to this CrappieKast and say, hey, Shane, would you and John like an 8616? Jessica, would you like one too? That would be nice because Garmin really doesn't sponsor a lot of people. They really don't. I think Matthew Rogers is sponsored by them, and he's a great fisherman, one of the best in the country. But luckily, guys, they're gonna have a booth about 3 down from us at the Crappie Expo.
Speaking of which,
Yeah.
come see us.
Yes, we'll be at Crappie Expo the 22nd through the 24th. We're going to be shaking hands and kissing babies and doing all that good stuff. And a little birdie told me John might be tying a few jigs for some kids. I don't know if that's going to go down.
I will go ahead and talk about that. I'm going to bring the vise, and I mean, if you got a child or a kid with you and they want a jig, just we'll come by and let the kid pick out the color of what they want the body to be and the tail, and we'll tie them a jig, put it in a little bag with a CrappieKast card in there with us, and try to remind them to tune in. The next time we have a show.
Yeah,
we just like everything we do, we want to be helpful, but dang sure want to be helpful with the kids that are interested in it.
Exactly. If you can change the mind of a kid, growing up, my dad and my uncle and all them, they fished younger, and when I was a kid, they didn't fish at all. So I went with people's dads and everything like that, and got involved in bass fishing and everything. And it's anytime you can introduce a kid or get them hooked on it, and if John ties a jig for a kid and that kid catches a big crappie on it, it's over with.
Oh man,
that kid's hooked. And that's the goal of all that stuff. I don't care if it's a grown man. I mean, if that grown man gets excited, just like me and John were talking about on the introduction to the in-depth series last night we done, they get fired up, I get fired up, everybody gets fired up. I mean, it is so, it's contagious, and just like everybody commenting on here. And let's see, somebody's asking about a fish fry. I don't think they don't fry fish all 3 days at that expo.
I think it's just one. It's just one day, I think.
I think it's one day, Michael.
And it might be the middle of the day. I can't remember exactly, but it's known as the world's largest fish fry. So it's worth it to show up, eat you some crappie fillets. But hey, Shane just touched on. We did a video yesterday. It was the first one. We in the series. We're going to start trying to do one during the week, talk about some technical things. And what we talked about was why we started CrappieKast during that video, and guys, what we're saying is we want to take you from when you're sitting on the couch thinking about crappie fishing and where you might go to when you're cleaning those fish. All that in between is the fun. So we want to take you from when you're thinking about fishing and the work you're going to put in there on the couch to when you're back home and you've caught them and you're cleaning them. All that in between, that's what we want to help you with. So if you like that and you got a friend, family member, or something like anybody else that likes it, tell them to start listening to this.
Yeah, we're going to get in the in-depth series, guys. We're going to get pretty technical where you can actually plan or see an area on Onyx, on Navionics, see it with your graph, identify it, catch the fish, go home, feed your family, not just be guessing all the time where you're going. Like make a plan of attack, if you must say. Really. And get home and be successful and develop patterns and do stuff like that's why John and I fish a lot. John touched on him and Jessica. Jessica go in there looking at stuff and on the map, and then they share each other's and then before a tournament. And that's we want you to be able to sit around and identify that stuff on. I was talking to Jacob Myers today, and we was talking about Onyx. He said, "How do you use Onyx fishing? It's a hunting app." I said, "Buddy, when you zoom in on there, you can tell the difference between the colors of the water. You can see it's stained. That's a flat. If you see it darker blue or green, that's a channel or deeper water. So Onyx comes in handy, especially when you can correlate it with Navionics and everything else. We're going to get all into details of that in that in-depth series where we can just go straight, hey guys, and especially if it helps you on water you already know, really help you on water you already know, and then it'll help you on new bodies of water. So,
Chad, we're gonna have, I'd say about 100 of these
oh, that's
shirts.
the shirts. Yeah, I seen them.
Yeah,
There it
at the
is, right there.
expo. Yeah, at the expo. So there, I don't know that we're necessarily gonna have this color. We're gonna have, I think it's white and a light blue, in various sizes. So yeah, come check us out. Is there one gray? Maybe some gray ones too. But yeah, various sizes. So yeah, if you come by and try to,
Yeah,
if you'll let me know, I'll try to put you one back because you're always on here, man, and
yeah.
we
He's always
appreciate it.
coming. And
And
I
deep,
guess you can Venmo that stuff or bring cash, John. We'll tell everybody what they're going to cost. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, before we get there. So
Yeah, we'll have all that
Country Cousin
ready.
Greg, we're both number 7, Country Cousin, at the expo. We're right there on the corner. I think there's some type of peanut place or something right beside us, and we're number 7. Garmin's number 3, right around the corner there, right down the same. So luckily we're not in the congested middle part. We're actually on the side. So
We got a pretty good spot. Like you come down the stairs, coming into where everybody's gonna be, the best I can tell, through that little breezeway, and then we'll just be right there to the left.
right, yeah, we'll be right there. We're right in the middle of everything. We're gonna have some fun, guys. I mean, this is the first time the expo's ever been here. It's been in Missouri, right, John? The last couple of years, right?
They've done it there. They did it in, I want to say it was in Monroe, maybe. Yeah, I think it was in Monroe.
I got
But
you.
or Shreveport. Maybe it was Shreveport. But hey, D Roberson said that we need to start doing more things
Yeah.
for the kids outside of just doing the one in the south part of the state. I mean, that'd be awesome. We just, man, Dip
Just getting
Dip McMillan down there in South Alabama. He and Paul Harrington and some of those guys, they took the bull by the horns down there, and they started out with 7 kids and just expanded from there. And
132 kids. I mean, that is.
yeah, I mean that's
And thanks to
amazing.
D, and
D was a part of it.
Alpha Plumbing right here. D from right here. He donated some stuff, and where they was able to give those kids rides and everything. Way down there in South Alabama, and he has a business up here. So let's see, make sure it's Onyx free. It is free. I think there's a trial period, Jason. Don't quote me on it. I forget what I pay. It's not much, man. It's
I, I think if you're a member of a hunting club with Rayonier, I think you get an Onyx membership. So you need to look into that.
yeah. We're gonna actually. John and I are going. The next show we're gonna do. John's gonna get into mapping. We're preparing everything right now. Next week, John's taking notes. Don't let him bulge, because John, hey, he's scribbling down. John's like, hey man, you got to give me a time. John's a planner, so we're actually gonna get into the mapping stuff and be able to share some pictures, because what's going to happen, guys, we're trying to get approved to be on Spotify and iHeartRadio and all that stuff, and they're going to hit the radio. The podcast is going to hit iHeartRadio and stuff, and then you'll be able to listen to it there, and then these videos are going to come out right behind it. So you'll be able to, even double dip and listen to it on the radio going down the street, running your machine at work, or if you're allowed to listen to stuff like that, or at lunchtime, and then you'll be able to see the pictures that we share on here. But
Yeah.
let's see. I don't know if it's going to be split. Country Cousin Greg, is it going to be split like the Bass and Deer Expo? I'm not sure if there's an upstairs and a downstairs. I think it looks just like one floor.
It does. From what I saw, it looked like the center portion of the BJCC,
That's right.
like the main center portion. The best I could count is close, just like 90 vendors.
I think you're right. I looked at the layout, John. I sent it to you.
I mean, there's anything that you could imagine.
Yeah.
From
There's gonna
Ford to nuts, and then nuts like me and Shane are going to be there.
We're gonna be right. Hey, I think it's ironic that we're beside a nut booth. I mean,
Yeah, that's what I said. That put the nuts together.
Yeah, that's but
Jessica
heck, man, I'm glad. Yep.
Jessica got off work. She's gonna be
Yep,
there.
she did.
New job. It was kind of tough, but
She's gonna be. They're coming up to stay in Birmingham, and we're gonna be there, guys, and enjoy the expo. And like I said, shake hands and meet a lot of these people that we see on here. Hopefully, everybody makes it. I think it's great for a lot of people don't agree with some stuff and blah blah blah, but man, anytime you get some crappie anglers together and talk crappie and meet people that you see on stuff like this, it's a
Yeah,
great thing.
I look forward to meeting a lot of the people we interact with on here. We talk to them like,
Oh yeah,
we did our first, we joked, and I guess we're still gonna call that our first Mad Adam Crappie stop, and we had
yeah,
some,
that was fun.
Corey came,
Yeah,
came,
Corey's tuned
and
in right now. He's watching.
yeah, we had, which Tommy's one of your friends. He came, our friend Scott, and we had a good crew, and we keep talking about this, but there's things in the works for our next stop with this. So please keep listening,
Yeah,
and
because
we're
like
gonna
Kevin
try to
Hicks.
give.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to Kevin Hicks. We're going to try to give enough notice this time, maybe 3 weeks to a month out. That way that
Yeah,
that
people can
people
kind of. Yeah.
can take off work and make their plans where to stay and stuff. And it might be back at the same place we went this last time, and go from there, or it might be somewhere up, more centrally located, the northern part of Alabama, where it's easier on Shane, because obviously the past one was easier on us because we're in the southern part
Hey,
of the state.
don't threaten me to go to not that
Seminole,
gum, Seminole or Lake
Talcott.
Talcon. Don't threaten me because
He has two shirts, Shallow.
Shiloh's on here. He's in
Actually,
tune in. I see.
I got three of them. Yeah, that's why I told Jessica, I said I got to get a different color
Hey,
printed. I know.
this thing. Hey, we're not sweating in here. There's Kevin Hicks right there. You were just talking about. I see Kevin on here all the time, and I just met him and Jessica when we went at the Mad Adam. So it was fun. And like I said, I hope we do one in November maybe, something like that. I don't know.
And Kevin's not a crappy friend anymore.
Yeah, Kevin got out of the crappy friend. We used to mess with Kevin. We called him our crappy friend.
Well,
It was another word we used. I guess we're trying to get on Spotify and
Yeah, we got to
whatever,
clean
all those.
this up.
Yeah, we got to quit talking so ugly. But anyway, Kevin Hicks is the one that helped James' wife find the new
Yep.
8616 graph for him. And that's
That's
awesome that
Man,
that
is
you're
awesome.
you got friends that could help out and do that.
Yeah, I mean, what kind of unit does James want? Kevin's like 8616.
Yeah, absolutely.
he didn't even hesitate. She was like, "What is that?" He didn't even hesitate. That's awesome. That's funny. Let's see. Country cousin Greg said he'll be at the expo with iHole. So hey, he'll come by. That's good, man. Somebody's asking about the tournament. We might as well talk about it. Michael Clary says, any more info on the tournament? He's talking about the tournament April the 6th, John. So
Yes.
we,
So
go ahead, John.
you go. I mean, you're in more of the planning. I'll just kind of say what I.
Go ahead. We're still in the early stages. Of
Yeah,
all
we're
this
in the
stuff,
early
so.
stages of it. If you know anybody that's interested in helping us with it, contributing, or wants to fish it, let us know. I think that Jessica and I are gonna run the scales and be the weigh masters. I told Shane that probably has, if he wanted to fish it, we probably should have somebody impartial.
Mhm.
And I like, talking it up and having a good time, and look forward to weighing everybody's fish in, and I guess getting them fired up. Just
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's Michael. I hope we haven't came up with a name yet. I don't know if we're gonna call it Crappie Kings of Miller's Ferry. I don't know what we're gonna do. We're still.
I'm kind of partial to Lower Alabama Crappie Kings.
I like it too.
But
Hey, the thing about it,
working
we're
on
going to try to make it fun, and we're going to try to make it worth somebody's while if they win the thing. Much less the money, but the camaraderie and the fellowship. That's what we really want. And so hopefully, I don't know what the entry fee is probably going to be $100, and then we're going to try to get it, and hopefully we'll get 30, 40, 50 boats in this thing. I hope it's the biggest one that's ever been down there. I hope it really is as far as crappie tournaments. So
I think if we we've started early enough, I think we're gonna get that pot up, the purse up good enough that
I think so too.
we're gonna strike some interest to some people that'll want to come. And man, it's that time of the year. There's gonna be some sacks.
Well,
I'm talking
that
about
Michael
some big
Clary's
sacks.
making this comment. I will fish it for sure, but he's telling me that's my territory. Michael, that's why we planned in April, guys, because you could hit one bank and find them females up there, and it could be over with. You could take your cane pole and them cork and minnows and come in with 15 pounds just as fast as anybody. And that's the
15,
good thing about that time of year.
If they got on the right fish, it'd be 16 and a half, 17.
Yeah.
You know,
Eric Cagle weighed in 1632 down there in April several years back. And but hey, man, I was telling Big Daddy, all these people that post pictures of fish and the you know, and where they just like Michael Clary saying he's in. I hope everybody comes fishing, because I mean, I'm not talking mess just to get the tournament pot up or nothing, but that time of year everybody's got a chance, because it's the spawning. Those fish are full of eggs. I mean, you hit, like I said, you hit one stump row and it's on. So.
And we're gonna make it affordable. I mean, it's not gonna be one of these,
yeah,
high pay entry tournaments. So, it's gonna be, affordable and still where you could cash a good check if you came out on top.
Yeah,
and you're gonna win a belt if you win it.
Yeah, we get 2 title belts, guys. We're not talking about trophy. We're talking about obnoxious, bling title belts. I'm talking about just obnoxious, and like I said, that makes it fun, guys. That pumps you up. I mean, when you get to sling them things over your shoulder and you get to strut up through that parking lot and have a little money in your pocket, your wife might not care nothing about it, but you'll be pumped up because you come in, and that's going to be fun. I think Michael's asking if we're going to do 5 or 7. I really want to do 7 because I want to see that weight number up there. I really do.
7.
Yes.
Reason being, Michael, you see somebody has 10 pounds, you're like, oh, that don't catch your eye. But 5 fish, 10 pounds, that'll catch your eye. But the 7 fish and the 14 pounds and the 13s, and that's what I like to see. And I enjoy being at Miller's Ferry. I like the city of Camden, and I really want people to visit it more because it's one of the most beautiful rivers in this state. I don't care what anybody says. So hopefully, we're gonna make it big as we can make it. So. What's John laughing at? I'm trying to see.
I'm laughing at Chad Gilliam. He said macho man. Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you had that belt, you'd be like, you want to go on a boat ride with Macho Man?
There's Jason Domain. He said he'll do a jig box. There you go. That's $200 worth right there, guys. He just threw that in already. Appreciate it, Jason. I mean, that's $200 because I got one in my boat out there. I actually caught some fish on one of his pink and white jigs, a few the other day. I was playing with them.
We just had a boat come out of the house going way too fast for as dark as it is.
John and them live right on the lake, guys, if y'all was wondering, because, when they were on the pier doing this, you could hear a boat come by. Yeah, the Lower Alabama Crappie Kings, that's kind of growing on me too, John.
Or, I mean, we could, South Alabama Crappie Kings, but you could put L.A., because everybody jokes about, I live in L.A., Lower Alabama, And you can have the big LA on there.
Kevin Hicks is saying, could 19 or 20 pounds? Of course. I've seen a bunch of 270s and 260s weighed in that time of year, guys. I mean, and I've lost several fish that time of year. I mean, the wind's up. If the weather cooperates and it's not flooded and stuff, it's prime, Kevin. I mean, I'm not kidding. I mean, I wouldn't pump it up for no reason, but hopefully who knows? I'd like to see some stuff like that because when people see that, they're like, guys from Kentucky's like, hold on just a second. They just weighed 16 pounds in at Miller's Ferry. Where's that? You know what I'm saying? And that's what I want people to go, hey, you get down there and they have a lot of bass tournaments, man. They're weighing 20-pound bass sacks in there all the time. So
we probably need to elaborate on that. So a lot of people, if you're listening from outside the area, Miller's Ferry is a pool that is on the Alabama River. It's below Montgomery. It's close to Camden, Alabama. Was that Wilcox County, I think?
That's right.
That's right. So when we hear us talk about Miller's Ferry, where we're talking about having this tournament, it's going to be the Alabama River.
Right.
And, man, you're going to see some sacks for that tournament.
Well, Kevin Hicks reminded me, up in the northern part in Montgomery, it was a 365 that Scott Williams' partner caught, back in the spring. 365, guys. That's on the mark, son. That is, and that's what kind of quality fish you have on the Alabama River. I mean, that's a giant fish.
Shane, I wouldn't be scared to say that the last time, we did that trip together in October, we
Mhm.
probably, out of those sacks we had, there was 14 pounds there.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
And
we
that's
caught.
that's October weights.
I think we had 90 fish that day. John and Jessica, and then me and Richard went, and several 180s, 190s that we caught, and it was funny. John and I were across from each other. He looked at me. He said, "We keeping?" I said, "We keeping." I could hear him and Jessica just a hollering over there. We were laughing. We had a blast because it was just me and him in there, and we're talking mess across the creek. And October's a prime time to go fishing down there too. So it was October 8th because let's see. Will it be a big fish pot? I guess we'll have to do a big fish pot if people want to throw in
Absolutely,
money.
absolutely,
Absolutely.
yeah,
You cannot
absolutely.
do one. Yeah, you got to do that because
That time of the year, absolutely, there will be a big fish pot.
yeah, and the good thing about it, guys, in April, people choose to let those big females go. Excuse me. Bridgeport's a prime landing. Let them go. It's deep water out there. All these eater fish. You can come to the weigh-in with how many fish you want to, but you can't weigh but 7. So you can have a cooler full of eaters. You know, there'll be some people there that may want some of those little eater fish. But those big fish, I encourage. Everybody's kind of responsible for letting their own fish go. If you want to keep them, hey, that's on you. But you want to let some of those big fish go, hey, let them go.
Well,
Because I promise you, they're gonna be some big and caught.
I tell everybody that fishes with me, and I try to be confident in this that we're going to catch fish. I said if you want to keep those big fish, keep them. But I feel like we're going to catch enough good eating size fish. Those big females. Let's let them go. So Jessica and I personally, we want that 10, 11-inch fish. That's the fish that we want to eat. 10, 11, 11 and a half inch fish. That fries up perfect. You don't get the mush in the middle. So it's a perfect fillet.
Yeah, them right there, guys. That right there, them 11, 12-inch fish, some of them, that's what you want to eat. They eat way better than them big boys. I promise you they do. And I think the biggest fish we let go this spring was like a 260. Bill Lawley caught. Bill Lawley Jr. He watches the show. He caught it. And hey, we videoed him letting it go, and they kept plenty of fish. So
Jason and Cheryl Mashburn McDaniel, they're asking
yeah.
how close the ramp is. There's a hotel right there in Camden. I mean,
there's several.
you could
There's
put
cabins. Yeah.
You could be putting the boat in within 10 minutes. I was like, when you say 10, 15 minutes,
it's not far. Bridgeport's right there in town, guys. It's one of the nicest ramps in the state. Big Daddy had a lot to do with that. I met the mayor. That had a lot to do with that, putting that ramp in. That ramp, you can launch 3 boats easily beside each other. I mean, it's not, it's nothing to get to. They've got a hump in the road, and they're in the you have to slow down for that hump. So, that's the only thing going out there. But it is one of the nicest launches in the country. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. I launched there Saturday. Wade Cole's asking on YouTube. We're going to use Bridgeport Landing, buddy, April the 6th. Bridgeport, right there outside of Camden. Somebody's asking.
We're not putting anything out of the question either. I mean, we might do like a meet and greet the night before, and we're probably going to have something like that. And the people that can't make that, you have to show up the next morning for registration. We totally understand that because everybody's schedule is not compatible. Yeah. Sometimes I wish that, which most of the things we fish, they're compassionate with that. But, don't get me wrong. We want people to get together. We want to do a little of that hanging out the night before and talking to you. And,
you got the rack and reel right there in town. It hold enough people. The owner's nice as it can be. It's got enough people to put together. If we get 15, 20 people, whatever, heck, if they're staying the night before, there's several hotels right there in town. I can't remember, Jason. There's some cabins people rent. John's rented those cabins before in the park.
That was another thing. Yeah, the park's got cabins, and I mean, if you wanted possibly to put 2 teams together and stay there, that's probably what, if we were going to do it, that's what we would do. Try to get another team, because that's what we've been doing now is like, if you find somebody that you can have a good friend group with, and you start fishing these tournaments together, man, you would be amazed at the time you'll have.
Oh yeah, John and them's got a great group. They have fun. I mean, Shiloh and Tim and Jessica and.
I'm ready for November.
Yeah, yeah. November starts the Alabama Crappie Trail. The first one's at, is it Neely Henry?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, they fire up. The Alabama Crappie Trail is going to be at the expo also. I don't know what booth number they have. I can look it up, but they will be there. Keith Cole and them, they doing a great job. But somebody's asking about a tagging program.
I saw that. I don't know that anybody has done that yet in Alabama.
I don't think so.
Now, what the Weiss Lake Improvement Association is
Yes,
WLIA,
I think that's the name. I think that's yeah.
Yeah. So they tag fish every year, and they have a rodeo. So you buy, your ticket, and if you catch a tagged fish, it's got a dollar amount that's associated with that fish. That's the only tagging program that I know of for crappie in Alabama. I wish that somebody would do that, so we could track, what these fish do. I wish that somebody come out with a little satellite GPS track thing that I could tag a fish and see where it goes and
Yeah.
just get
Well,
me
I think it's cool, Matt. As far on a river system like we're fishing, if you catch the fish upriver to see where that big female goes, in several months, and John catches it 3 or 4 miles down the river and say, hey, I caught it in so and so creek, but I know those tagging things, they're pretty expensive, guys. I mean, that tagging apparatus, I don't think none of that stuff's too cheap. So.
Yeah, well, I don't necessarily know if it's the tagging apparatus. Sometimes it's the tags. Like I know Patrick, he's got his phone number on those tags, and it comes out with the number.
He gets a lot of
system.
information out of that too. Hey, he gets a lot of information, and it lets you know. You'll see Patrick Stone posting all the time. He'll be like, hey, we caught this fish 2 months ago. It was 1 pound, 176, and now it's a 210 or something. It's pretty awesome to be able to do that. I'm not against it, but I really don't know enough about it to. Somebody's asking, is Outlaw Roz, Philip? Is Outlaw Roz going to be at the expo? I don't think they are they?
They're not going to have a booth this year. No, they're not. But if you are interested in anything, give me a heads up and I'll bring it to you. How about that? Is that fair?
That's fair, Philip. You come on in there. I talked to Heath Shoemate the other night. He's got me a few more of those 6-foot rods that he builds. I'm gonna have some of those. I'll have some of those at the booth. I'm gonna have some of these third-hand products. We hadn't talked about them, but these ones that go on your screen to hold your rod. I'm gonna have. As a matter of fact, I think we're just gonna do a drawing for a set of these. Just, John, we haven't decided what all we're gonna do, but I've got these sitting on my desk here. We may do a drawing for a bunch of stuff. So hopefully we get enough people to come and by our booth that we can do several things. So I'm trying to think. Go ahead, John.
A quick tip about the third, the arm to hold your fishing rod that comes off your graph. All right, so I fish from the left side, Jessica fishes from the right side. So to start off, I was like, I want to put my, my pole holder there on the left side of my graph.
Right.
Well, I come close to that graph when I shoot my jigs out.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was like, ding! And I said, the heck just happened? What I hit? And I realized I was hitting it. So I had to put it on the other side of the graph. So you need to think about how you normally fish and adjust which side you have that on. But as far as it being handy, it is amazing. I've got a video that I haven't edited yet where my friend Greg and I went fishing. And you're going to see it in that video. I'm using that thing a lot because typically I'm that guy and I'm trying to hang an eyelet of the pole over the top of my grass so it doesn't fall over.
That's what
You lay that rod right there in that thing and it's there.
Yeah, I got a video that popped up on my memories. I net the fish, get it on here, and my reel just drops off in the water. Bloop. I had to pull it up with the string, and you'll see me flopping my rod down. The other day when I actually got my 15-foot rod out, I had it on my knee and had it sitting in that holder beside the graph. And I was just holding it there until I got to the brush pile. So that little third hand thing's handy. So power brakes, like I said, they're shipping power brakes out as fast as they can, guys. I'm sharing on my page a lot. I'm actually going to have a display at the expo. I'm glad we talked about that. I've got a pretty red set trolling motor. You're going to be able to come up to it, pick it up, deploy it, pull it back up. I want to build a stand for it. So D's already saying y'all want to do a draw. He's ready. He's fired up.
Yeah, and country cousin Greg, we have talked about that for the expo. We're gonna let everybody sign up at our table for a trip.
That's right.
Shane and I already talked about it. So if you'll come by and visit us and fill out a slip with your name on it and your
Yeah.
phone number, you'll go in the
Yeah, man.
hat.
All we ask you to do is fill that out. Hey, follow Shane Jones Fishing, follow CrappieKast. When we're on Spotify and all that, hey, just spread the word, guys. If you like the content, like all this stuff, spread it because it's not doing anything but helping the crappie industry share information. But yeah, D, we're gonna do a draw, and we talked about it
He
last
said it
night
too.
actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
he said the same thing. And D, hey, D's been behind us since February. Oh, Alpha Plumbing back here. Every time I see him, he is soaking more out. He is strung out. He's busy. Honest plumber. Same guy with my air conditioning guy right here, Steve, right there above me. I eat breakfast with him every morning. He's like, I said, what are you doing? He said, man, I got a busy day. He's just an honest air conditioning guy. So guess what? He stays busy. So let's see what James says. What about us that can't be at the expo? Yeah, he's going to be at the national. We don't feel sorry for you, James. You're at the national championship, man. We don't feel sorry for you, man. We'll fill one out for you, James. If you'll send us a message, I promise we'll fill one out for you, buddy.
Oh, Trot knows he can go on a fishing trip anytime. He's just
Yeah.
He's got his gumbo stirrer out. He's stirring that pot.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't feel sorry for him. He's going to he'll be in Lake Eufaula at the
Yeah.
with his new 80. He's going to be with his new 8616, and he's going to be at the national championship. You won't be able to tell him anything. I ain't hearing all that, James.
Yeah, Trot's gonna be in that timber at Lake Eufaula, Oklahoma, having a big time. Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, let's see. Stephen Cheney said he got mine in. My older boat has a 4-inch lip, and the power brakes took the time to make it work. That's what's the good thing about it, Stephen. You can call Chad and tell him what setup you got, and he's really adamant about getting you what you want. You know, I talked to him about this. I said, hey man, I need a display to carry the crappie expo. He's like, huh? He said, that's a great idea. I said, people need to feel they're paying $1,800 for a set. They want to see, you know, if they don't get a chance to go fishing with somebody with those crappie brakes.
Clinton Tyson said, can I look it up? But when and where is the expo? So Clinton, the expo is in Birmingham, Alabama. It's going to be at the BJCC. It's I think one of the biggest convention centers in Birmingham. That's where the final day of weigh-in will be at.
That's right.
And man,
September 22nd through 24th.
Eventually I'm gonna memorize that. Everybody asks me, and I'm like, let me look on my phone and Google it. But yeah, if you'll look up the Wally Marshall Mr. Crappie Expo, Birmingham, Alabama, you can just Google it. You can find more details out about it, and it is the biggest, as far as vendor wise, it is the biggest thing in the crappie industry. If anything you want to think about in the crappie industry, as well as, you know, like I said, that hell, I was looking at it. Ford has got Ford's got a booth there. I mean,
yeah, there's several boat dealers. I know Sea Arc, Bass Cat. I don't know what all kind of boat dealers.
Several lure companies.
Yes.
There's all kind of stuff. Yeah.
There's gonna be all kinds of stuff there, and plus we're gonna be right there on the corner. I hope we got a crowd, of folks hanging around, and we're actually gonna carry this equipment there, and and say hey to people and try to do some interviews of the leaders. Hopefully, like we said, some of our buddies are leading that tournament, and we can get them in there when they come in, and that way we can kind of get everybody fired up about it. Mr. Bud Williamson, he's tuned in.
The week before the expo, we'll try to do a little competition, let everybody guess who they think's going to win. And I've been talking to Amos Livingston about some maybe doing some stuff with some outlaw crappie poles. So what we might do is get a couple of those, and whoever picks the winner, maybe send it out. Send them a pole out. Something like that, or maybe a rod and reel combo. We've been kicking that around, trying to figure out a way to get some more exposure to outlaw crappie poles. it's an amazing product. We got some more questions.
Oh yeah, what is Matt Singley? Yeah, Brad is gonna be there with Crappie Connection. He sure is. I seen his booth. I don't know what booth he is. He will be there. I watch his stuff. I watch Zeke and them's catching crappie. I watch all the podcasts, guys. Hey, I'm not a hater by no means, buddy. I'm a cheerleader because I know the more people you cheer for, the better your stuff does. And if that's your nature, I promise you. So, and if somebody's doing better than me, I want to know what they're doing. I'm not jealous of it. I'm gonna be asking questions. And Brad's been doing it several years. He's got 44,000 followers, I think. We're up to 58, almost 5,900. We're pushing to 6,000. Those are legitimate followers, though. They're not bots and stuff, so they're actual people. So, and I'm glad of that. So I'm proud, and we get to that. Let's see. Somebody said, what is Eddie Jones saying? What about those of us that are working the tournament? Don't know if we can make it over. Oh, you'll be back. I don't think it closes till 6.
Yeah, Eddie, if you're working the tournament, you'll probably be actively getting to come in and.
Yeah, I think.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know what the schedule is. I'll have to look. Keep talking, John. I'll look up the schedule here.
Yeah, Eddie, you'll get a chance to come by and see us, bud.
Yeah, I promise you. I'll.
Yeah, I know you and Ryan and.
You better.
Well, yeah, Jessica needs to get her Eddie Jones neck hug.
Let's see. I'm trying to find out what the schedule is. He sent it. I get so many emails all the time.
I'm getting to take one of the ultimate panfish boats out to Dallas, Texas.
Oh, that's right. Tell them about that, John.
Let's talk
from
about
Andalusia.
That.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
so
Andalusia Marine, they've got that they're the stick steer boat headquarters is what they like to be known as. But they don't just sell that; they sell, they're a full express line dealer. They've got the veranda pontoons, but they built one of those 18-foot ultimate panfish boats, and there's a guy in Dallas, Texas that wanted it, but he didn't want to drive down to Louisiana, Alabama and pick it up. So the owner, he's like, man, he said, I really want Scott to have this boat. He said, how would you feel about taking it out there? He said, I want somebody that can take the boat out there and explain the boat, show the electronics and show, the what if something went wrong, what would you do? Just do the walk around with the boat. So early Tuesday morning, we leave in South Alabama, headed to Dallas with a boat. And I'm going to try to make a turn, man. I'm going to try to just stay one night. I don't know if my back's going to hold out. But
if they realize who's bringing that boat, they don't understand. Like, it's not some little kid dropping the boat off or some hot shot driver. I mean, John Fulmer is sitting there.
Yeah.
That's on CrappieKast, and he's going to be able to answer questions. Hey, show him something. I mean, that's pretty good.
I call the guy, say, look, you're going to have my phone number from now on. If you ever have a question about the boat, just call me. Whenever we take somebody out and help them set up their electronics or do something like that, I tell them, so you ain't just, you're not just done this little setup. You've got my phone number now. You get on the water, you get confused, call me, and because I'll help you any way I can. I mean,
here it is. Here's the show hours. Friday, the show hours from 10 a.m. to 6. All right. Saturday, it's 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday is 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So it's got plenty of time to. We'll be moving all our stuff in Thursday or Wednesday, whatever we want to do. Thursday will be fine because we ain't gonna have a whole lot. But it looks like Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Shane, what's my overtime rate gonna look like?
I don't know. We gotta get some checks together. We gotta get some checks together. But hey, man, I'm kind of fired up, because I used to go to the deer show as a little kid, and it started getting a little monotonous to me. But this Crappie Expo, this is all new, This is all, people don't understand. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of people driving from all over. So, but that is a schedule. Let's see. Kevin said he wants one of them shirts for the championship.
Kevin, we'll work that out, bud.
Yeah, we'll get you one, Kevin.
I'll get you a medium. I want to see you squeezing that bad boy.
Yeah, well, hey, Matt said, I enjoy what y'all are doing with the CrappieKast. Keep up the great work. Appreciate it, Matt. Thank you for tuning in, man. I mean, I really do. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the pictures. Me and John went into that last night. If you haven't a chance to watch that video, I put it on YouTube. It's on my face. It's on this Facebook, Shane Jones Fishing too. what our plans are in the future. And we're fixing to blow this thing up and get on Spotify and iHeartRadio. And I think it's going to be funny to listen to mine and John's voice going down the road in my truck. I mean, if you'd have told me that a year and a half ago, I'd have been like, huh? What are you talking about? Because I never was one to speak. John spoke in front of people all the time with those scholarships and stuff. Him and Jessica do, and we've talked about that on the show. I really haven't spoken in front of a lot of people. And here we are going live in front of, there's 60, 70 people on here the whole show, and I appreciate each and every one of you. But
all right, Shane,
go ahead, buddy.
Buddy, we made it through the whole show, and I know Jessica's got to push one of these sound effects buttons. So
hey guys, these recorders.
Just go with C. Go with. Yeah, hold it out. No, that was the wrong one.
Sorry.
These recorders we got, guys, have got little buttons and sound effects and stuff, and they're pretty obnoxious. I'm not gonna lie, but I think you can program a lot of this stuff. So
I've been dying the whole show.
Yeah, I guess you're doing a good sport. That's awesome. Like I said,
if we're ever feeling down and out, we can just hit this one and act like we got a lot of.
Yeah. Hopefully, hey, as this thing evolves, we're gonna get some music on here, an introduction, and make a commercial for these sponsors. We haven't got that organized, guys. We're winging this stuff every week. I mean, y'all don't realize John and Jessica and I get on here about 15 to 7.
Oh gosh.
My headphones weren't working. I'm plugging and I'm saying a few choice words, and I'm sitting here. Thank God we're not live, but I'm sitting here plugging it in, and it's fun, man. The anticipation of getting this thing started, and once we start talking, I mean, it's easy for us to talk about it because everybody's relaxed, and y'all guys make it easy. The same people on here every week. We appreciate it. I mean, consistency is the key to this thing. Y'all tell somebody about it. There's people tuned in from all over the place. I was looking earlier. We got them from Kentucky, Mississippi. I was trying to see where some people were tuning in from. Some people were putting where they were from, but I enjoy this, man. I look forward to it every Thursday. My boss and them at RMC, it's funny. They're like, hey, man, you got the show tonight, and they keep up with it too. They're real nice to me about it, and business is going good for us. It's just everything goes good. You keep a great attitude and try to share, and stuff works out. You're gonna have those days and stuff. We all know. I mean, Jessica really knows. She done took a new job, and she's got a lot on her head, and she comes in here and talks fishing with us, and I appreciate her being on here to do there. So Chuck's asking about the CrappieKast shirts. They're gonna be at the expo, Chuck. September 22nd.
We're gonna try not to sell any before the expo, so we make sure we have a lot of them at the expo. Whatever we do not sell, if we don't sell them at the expo, we will sell them after the expo. And if we if they're a hit and people want to buy them that listen to the show, we'll get some more made. It's just it's hard to forecast. You don't want to go all in and buy a bunch of them, and then
That's right. Yeah, we like I said, we don't want to be in the shirt business really, but I mean, John and them said they're gonna have 100 of them. Heck, if they sell them, I hope they sell every one of them. Those shirts he's got on, I got one on here. This is a Drake shirt right here, and they're pretty expensive, guys. And John found those shirts and got them put together for something reasonable. I think they're gonna be around $30. I don't know if that's official, but
that's official. They're gonna be $30, and I've worn this in 100-degree heat. The shirt breathes.
It's awesome.
I like it. And
I've gotten hooked on them, guys. I mean, I didn't like pulling, when you're sitting there and hot and you can pull that hood up over your head, sweat. They're nice, guys. I mean, they're legit. You get sweaty, you take off, you dry out fast. You're supporting CrappieKast and all that stuff. It's just knowing you're part of a sharing community. I think that's a big deal. So Jerry and Jordan saying, look forward to the Crappie Show in Birmingham. Great podcast. Guys and gals, set a reminder on my phone when I kept missing it. Appreciate you tuning in, man. We appreciate everybody, especially new watchers and listeners and all that good stuff. And this hour blows by so fast. I wish the hour went by that fast when I was on the treadmill, John. You know it. I mean, I'm on the I got on doing cardio tonight, And 25 minutes felt like forever. And then you could talk on here for an hour, and it blows by. It's crazy. Freddie Hawkins tuning in.
It really does.
It does. Philip Dodson, what sizes? We're going to have, I guess they're going to have all kinds of sizes, I'm sure. I don't know.
All the way from 3X down to small.
So there you go.
Yeah.
There you go, Philip. You come by and see us, buddy. We'll have one.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm wearing a 2X now, so let's see, make sure I hadn't missed anything. Man, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Been on here an hour. There's still 60 people on here listening to us carry on about stuff, and I enjoy it. Shallow's tuned in, D, Michael Clary, James Trott, everybody that Jason Domain, he's donated a box of jigs to the tournament in April the 6th. We got all kinds of stuff to talk about. So first thing is coming up, the expo's coming up September 1st will be here next week. So we're fixing to hit Labor Day. August is gone, guys, and the cooler weather's coming. I mean, so we're going to shut this thing down, and stay tuned, guys. We're going to film another one of those in-depth series talking about mapping. It'll be this week, and hopefully we're going to get on Spotify and be able to put it on there here pretty soon, and we're going to run with this thing. Jessica, I appreciate you being on here with us. And John and everybody that tuned in. I'm going to shut this thing down, and y'all stay on here. Chuck said we're going to do it. We're going to do a drawing at the expo. Come see us, Chuck, 22nd through the 24th, buddy. We're going to do a drawing for several things. I heard several rods. We're going to do a lot of stuff. We don't know that. We're going to have plenty to give away. You're going to be tired of writing your name. I promise you that. Appreciate it, guys. See y'all next week.